Hey everyone, I'm Sal Sankata, and this month we're going to check out the On1 Photo 10 collection.
All right, everybody, so let's dive right into it. What we're going to do is review the On1 Photo 10 collection. And what this is just that, a collection of all their tools that you need for your digital workflow. And what this is going to allow you to do is go from culling your images all the way to that final product in one family of products, one suite of products, if you will. And the good news here is not only does it work as a Photoshop and Lightroom plugin if you already have those tools, but let's say you're just refusing to pay that monthly fee to Adobe. This is a perfect standalone tool because it's going to allow you to do all the same things in one tool. So first we'll start out with something you're familiar with, right? You're going to get into your images, you want to look at your images, cull them, color code them, 5-star them. And so we're going to be in the Browse tool, Browse 10. And we're going to go right into a folder where I have a bunch of raw files from recent photo shoots. Now, what is extremely impressive right out of the gate, I'm seeing this right with you, is how fast this is handling these files. Now, these are not ordinary raw files. These are coming off a medium format camera. So these are 50 meg files. And I'm not operating on some beefy desktop machine. Right now, not only am I recording video on this machine while I'm doing this, I'm also scanning files that are on the same hard drive. So this is a Mac laptop, and these are 50 meg files that it's browsing, and the performance is actually quite impressive. So kudos to On1. Now as we open up this image, so this is that, it's a 16-bit raw file. It's a Hasselblad file that we're operating on here. And so the first thing we want to do, great, I've called, I'm looking at them, I'm browsing my files. Well, you know what? I've decided I want to edit this file. Okay, so now we're going to take it into Enhance, and we're going to get some options here. And so what we want to do is, it's asking us basically, how do we want to edit this image? And so let's just create a Photoshop file. Let's operate at 8-bit, although on this we could operate at 16-bit. And so we're going to operate a Photoshop file. This allows us to have layers, right? Because we're going to want to operate within layers just like we would within Photoshop. All right, so now that we're within the Enhance module, what you're going to notice here on the right-hand side is you're going to see a whole bunch of tools that are very similar that you're used to seeing in Lightroom, right? This is going to allow us to, or camera raw settings, if you will. And this is going to allow us to edit those pieces of the image, the tonal range, color, sharpening, noise reduction. And so let's just get started on this, okay? So let's adjust exposure a little bit here, make it a little brighter. And I'm watching the white of her dress. Okay? And let's make this a little bit warmer. Let's bring back some of those highlights. So we're going to lose that detail. Let's give it a little contrast bump. The blacks down a little bit. Maybe give exposure just a little bit more bump. And now let's add some detail here. Now, their detail slider is very similar to the clarity slider in Lightroom, except this kicks Lightroom's ass. Their detail slider is incredible. It creates no weird artifacts. It has a real punchy HDR look without going over the top. And so I really love what this is doing. And we can zoom in here and see that there's no artifacts have been created around her skin there. So I really love this slider. It's so far one of my favorite features here. Okay, so now we can add a little bit of vibrance here. Right? Give that green and blue some punch. And we can remove that from the skin. Now that we've removed that from the skin and we've got this image looking the way we want it to, we can come in here, add a vignette. So we can do a little subtle, and then you've got all the tools you would expect, right? So we can really darken this down. We can control the size of it. Right? And you can start seeing that as we control it, becomes really noticeable. Maybe we want to feather it more so it drives us right to her. Right? That's a square one. That doesn't look very good. Really give it a little more roundness. Now maybe just bump up exposure a little bit more. Now I like the way that looks. Okay, so let's come down here. And so it's that simple to work within the tool to get the image the way you want it to look. Now from here, we can jump over to the effects module. And this will be where we're applying just that, special effects to the image so that, you know, black and white, texture, things along those lines, we can apply in this module just all sorts of special effects. Now, the tool comes with a bunch of presets. It comes with, you know, you can create your own custom presets. And so if we take a look at this, right, these all come with it right out of the box. And so of course you can see what some of these are going to look like. You can adjust the opacity of them, so you have complete control over how much you're applying to it. And so now we can come in here, quickly scroll through, see if there's anything we even like. So let's go with Blue Dawn. Now, once we apply this, we have the ability to tweak this, right? So this is a preset out of the gate. We can bring back, right? So we can come in here and adjust the impact of the effect. It's split tone and blur. And so these are the effect here as it's been created. And of course, we can control and adjust some of this to impact how that looks. We can also do things like brush out. So if we want to have less of that effect in a certain spot, we can do that. Or we can adjust the overall opacity of the entire preset. And so you've got a lot of granular control. So these are things that you actually don't have within the Lightroom environment. And by the way, my goal was not to compare this to Lightroom, but I can't help but working in Lightroom every day, see some of the features that are here that are really interesting and can change the way we do things. So this allows you to apply an effect, a preset if you will, and adjust the overall strength of that preset on the image. That's a pretty powerful feature, something that you might normally have to go within Photoshop for. Here we're doing it all within one tool. So really, really interesting feature here. So let's dial this down a little bit. Okay. And so now we have that the way we want it to look. We can now go and take this and go within layers. And so what this is going to do is take this effect and apply it to an actual layer. Now, why do you want to do this? Well, let's say I'm not done editing this image. Let's say now, okay, we want to apply something on top of this and we want to continue to enhance this and control it within a layer environment. This, again, is something you can't do within Lightroom. These are things you're round-tripping into different products to be able to do. And so I like it that I'm operating within one program to be able to do that. Okay, so now let's say we want to add another effect to this. We're going to go back into On1 effects. And what we can do here is come in and add this new preset now on top of this, and we can control, as you can see, that's the image we've already edited, the opacity here. Okay, we can apply that. And as we come back into the layers module, we can see all these layers are still here. Okay, and what this is going to allow us to do is we can now adjust these layers, move these layers, turn these layers on and off. And so very similar to what we would do inside of Photoshop, we can now do within the On1 photo collection. And so what we can do here now is, again, we can adjust this opacity. And if we take this all the way down, we see that image there before. And we can adjust it here. We can adjust blending mode, right? So we've got all sorts of different things we can do, very similar to a Photoshop environment. We can mask this, we can brush it. So again, an extremely powerful tool for you to work with. I have not even covered 90% of the features that are in this tool. I highly recommend you download this, download their trial version, play with it, get used to it, and you'll be blown away, because ultimately it's all about getting different looks for your tools. Now, I do want to show you one other thing that I cannot tell you how many times I've used this and it has saved me. It is their Resize tool. Their Resize tool is based on fractal technology. It's extremely powerful. I couldn't even possibly get into the bits and bytes of it all, but here's the gist of it. Let's say you've got an image that you've taken in your DSLR. Let's say you shot JPEG. Let's say now your client wants this as a 20 by 30. How are you getting it to them without it either becoming all pixelated or blurry? This particular tool has saved my life countless times, because what this allows you to do is come in here and actually resize your image. And while yes, some of this can be done in Photoshop, the technology there is nowhere near ready the same as what they're doing here in On1 Photo 10. So the Resize tool we have used constantly. Let me tell you where I've used it. Yeah, if I've shot a medium format shot, sure, I've got plenty of data to work with. We've been doing a lot of drone shooting, and those drone cameras are not the highest resolution, nowhere near a DSLR, and definitely nowhere near a medium format camera. We have taken a drone picture, resized it through the Resize tool, printed it at 15 by 30, 20 by 30. Even the cover of this month's magazine was actually resized. So the cover of Shutter magazine this month, no lie, was resized using this tool you see right here in order to take that shot and allow us to zoom in on it and get the clarity we need to be on the cover of our magazine. So if that's not an endorsement of the quality of this product, I don't know what would be. This is something we use all the time. And so you're just going to come in here. They've got different paper types that you can apply and take those settings and then save that image out for that specific size, and you're going to be ready to go. So ladies and gentlemen, I highly encourage you. You're seeing here what it's doing on the presets for a gallery wrap. I cannot explain to you without producing a 4-hour video on the power of the tool. Get out there, mess with it, but best of all, On1 has created an amazing deal for you guys. Get two for the price of one. So for $89.99, you get this tool. You're getting On1 Photo Raw, which is their next generation of the tool set that's coming out this summer, I believe. And so I don't want to make promises that I can't keep. But it's their next version of the tool, and you're going to get all of that included with your one purchase for $89.99. So a great product, great value, great product review from my perspective on working with it. So some of the features in here are 10 times better than what we see within Lightroom, and depending on what I have to use it for, we will jump back and forth between tools in order to match with our workflow. So I hope you enjoy this review. Like I said, it's not an exhaustive review. There are plenty of things out there that you can look to that will dive into each specific feature. Overall, definitely give it a thumbs up. Great product.